So we've got stage 19 here called Isis or Isis. Isis is the Egyptian goddess. She's a goddess of lots of different things. She's the wife of Osiris. She is um, the mother of Horus. She plays a pretty important part in the mythology of the Egyptian religion. She's um, goddess of women, goddess of marriage, also the protector of sailors for some reason. So these are the model sentences from stage 19. Hic est Aristo. Aristo est amicus barbili. In villa splendida habitat, sed miserimus est. Hic est Aristo. That's his name. His name is Aristo. So this guy, this man, is Aristo. Aristo est amicus barbili. In villa splendida habitat. But what's the problem? It's a nice house, but miserimus est. The Aramus there is related to the Isimus that we've seen before, meaning very something. He's very sad. Something I'd like to point out real fast. Hic, we learned back in stage 8 or something, means this. This man is Aristo. I have a question for you, right? So it's this man. What else do we know about the noun weir, the underlying noun weir? What's the gender of the word man? In the sentence, what's the number? How many men? And what's the case? How is it being used? Nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, or ablative? Think about that for a second. Haec femina est Galatea. Galatea est uxor Aristonis. Galatea maritum saepe castigat, numquam laudat. Haec femina est Galatea. So this woman, that's her name, Galatea. Galatea is uxor Aristonis. So what's her relationship to the man we just met, Aristo? And there's a word here, castigat, which is one of our new vocab word, means to scold or to nag. So she saepe castigats her maritum. She numquam laudats him. No wonder he's miserimus. Let me point something out real fast. Hike femina. So hike comes from the same word as hic. It also means this. So this woman is Galatea. Let's go through the same thing. Uh, what else do we know about the underlying word femina? What's the gender of that word? What's the number? How many of them are there? And how is it being used in the sentence? What's the case? Why is it that hic and hike are different forms if they both mean this? What's the difference between our first this and this? To me, this is haec puella est Helena. Helena est fili Aristonis et Galateae. Multi juvenes hanc puellam amant, quod pulcherrima est. Haec puella. There's that word again, haec. So this girl, her name is Helena. Helena est fili Aristonis et Galatea. So what's her relationship to the two people we just met? Multi juvenes hanc puellam amat. Yes, why do they love her? Pulcherrima. There's that erema again. It was the same we saw in the miserima. So he was very miserable. She is very pretty. So hike is the same word we just saw before, but something else I'd like to draw your attention to. Hunk down in that last sentence. Hunk comes from the same form, same word that means this. But what's changed about it? Right? It's still referring to the girl. So hike puella and now hunk puellam. What else do we know about the word puella? And more specifically about the one on the bottom, puellam. What's the gender, the number in the case of that word? Compare them together. What's the difference between them? We've met a family that we're going to follow along for the next stage. Let's go out with them and experience Alexandria. Pompa splendida per vias Alexandriae procedit. Omnes Alexandrini hunc pompum spectare volunt. Pompa splendida. So here's a pompa. It's hard to see from this picture, but pompa is similar to the word augmen, but this is more of a celebration. So this is better translated as parade. A splendid parade. It was procediting, or it is procediting. All of the Alexandrians, they want to spectare hunc pompum. There's that hunk again. It's the same form as we saw before when we were talking about Hanc Puellam. So what's similar with the words Puellam and Pompom? Let's find out more about this parade. Hiwiri sunt sacerdotes dea Isidis. It's hard to see from this picture, but see, there's a man right there, there's a man right there, there's a man right there, there's a man right there. They're wearing veils over their head or something on their heads. So these men, Hiwiri, these men are sacerdotes of the dea Isidis. Here she is. Aristo hos viros intente spectat. So what is Aristo doing? He is spectating hos viros. Sacerdotes statuam Dei per vias portant. And that's what the picture is showing, right? The sacerdotes, they are portanting the statuam of the Dei through the vias. Hiwiri and hos viros. Those H words, again, are from the same word that we saw before, meaning this, but perhaps it's better translated here as these. Because what's changed? What's going on? Tell me grammatically, what do you know about the words weary and viros? What's going on with these nouns that is affecting how the word this is changing its form all the time? What's the gender? What's the number? And what are the cases? Hae puellae pro pompa currunt. Helena has puellas intente spectat. Puellae coronas rosarum gerunt. It's hard to see, but there are some puellae up here. Puellae, and it also is very hard to see. Coronas rosarum, rose garlands. They're wearing rose garlands. Garlands made of rose. Very hard to see. So these girls, they are currunting pro pompa in front of the parade. Helena is watching has puellas intente. Maybe once upon a time she was one of those girls in the parade. So, hae puellae, these girls. Helena is watching these girls, right? So it comes from these H words, all come from the word meaning this, or more appropriately, these. So what's going on with the words puellae and puellas that's affecting how these words are changing? What's the gender? What's the number? And what are the cases? Pompa ad templum Augusti advenet. Propre hoc templum stant duo juvenes. He juvenes tamen pompum non spectant. What are they watching if they're not watching the pompum? Pompa ad templum Augusti advenet. So the parade has approached or reached the temple of Augustus, and we can see it right in the background. Duo juvenes are standing near this temple, hoc templum, near this temple. He juvenes tamen pompum non spectant. These men, however, these young men, however, are not watching the parade. Hoc templum. Hoc comes from the same word meaning this. Tell me one more thing about templum. What do we know about it? Specifically, what is the gender of the word templum? Be careful. Be careful with this one. So they're not watching the parade. What are they looking at? They're looking at Helena. That's it. Wally.